Thursday on PRISM.
Ladies and gentlemen, for Ranch Breakfast Cereal, please welcome Sonny Steele.
5 times all-around world champion cowboy, and now you're selling cereal. How do you feel about that?
Lady, I don't want to tank with you.
Robert Redford, Jane Fonda, Electric.
Everybody's done their thing. Anco did what they had to do, you did what you had to do, now I'm going to do what I have.
He wasn't even supposed to be out there yet.
$12 million with a thoroughbred racehorse loose in horse heaven. Think you got a story?
Stick with the lunatic, Ellie.
It won't work. He doesn't want me around.
Nobody wants you around. That never stopped you before.
Robert Redford, Jane Fonda, the Electric Horseman.
What with an exciting blend of veteran and young talent, this promises to be another action-packed season for the Philadelphia Flyers. And you can enjoy exclusive PRISM coverage of Flyers action on Thursday night, October the 22nd, when the tough Quebec Nordiques come to the Spectrum. Tune in and turn on to the Flyers, beginning at 7:30 p.m.
The following film is rated R and is not suitable for young audiences. Next on PRISM, famed country western singer Willie Nelson is the leader of a band going through a few changes in Honeysuckle Rose.
The following film has been rated PG and may not be suitable for young audiences.
The following is an exclusive presentation of PRISM Sports.
From the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Tonight's main event, Bob Backlund versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And in a special grudge match, Ivan Putski battles Cowboy Bob Orton. But that's not all, as Andre the Giant meets Blackjack Mulligan. And don't forget, the ladies return for their special blend of wrestling action. It's all here tonight as PRISM presents Spectrum Wrestling.
The art in New Hope today is stronger than it ever has been. It just wore out the Greenwich Village scene. It's beaten up Soho, and it just keeps going and going, and there's an attraction here. And the artists just flock here because of the stimulation. There are 30, 40 artists, operating artists, working artists in studios, garrets, hiding, but making a living at art is a very difficult thing because you kind of get in the habit of having 3 squares a day, but you might only sell one painting a month. So it's kind of a up and down situation. So you need something to fill in the gap between the sails.
You get people here from all over, from many, many states. They just come around to see they're tired of the big city. You know, you go out, you go across the river, and all of a sudden you're back into big buildings, that sort of thing. And here you got the nice little country life, sort of. Give me a kiss. Yes. Good girl. Huh? Good girl.
Well, I think it's a wonderful place. It's exciting. It always has been. It's been an art community from way back, and the architecture is interesting.
Originally, when the artists first came here and that, one was from the aspect that the area was really nice, all right, picturesque, and they were mainly landscapists. And then in the 40s or 30s, some of the abstractionists came up. And the main reason for artists going into an area primarily is the fact they'll move into an area because it's cheap. And that's the first criteria for building an art colony. It's got to be cheap. And the rent's got to be cheap. And the beer's got to be cheap. But once that's all right, then you'll find them moving into that area. Jobs are mainly by word of mouth.
Everything I do is custom, whatever the individual wants. Molding, if you want molding, fine, I'll make molding for you. If you want trim, make that. If you want boards, I'll give you boards. If you want stained glass, we do stained glass.
The number of workshops are on the top floor, the third floor, is the painting studio. The second floor is living quarters in the process of being remodeled. The first floor is a rock shop and jewelry shop for lapidary equipment and glass grinding, wet sanders and that. There are 2 wood shop areas and 1 ceramic area and 1 stained glass studio.
Probably for a long time, New Hope has had a national reputation for being an art colony. What had happened, which happens in a lot of art colonies, is that the artists come because it's beautiful and it's reasonable to live, and then developers come behind them, and then soon it's not as reasonable for them to have studios or gallery space in the area. So I think New Hope was going through part of that change when we began this, was the fact that real estate had become very expensive, and so the artists were moving further and further away from the central area. And what we were hoping to do was, by having a building and a vehicle for them to exhibit through, that we would begin to tap the resource of artists who were living in the area.
Basically, the commercial establishments here were born or were invented because it was art first. If every artist in town left here and went to another quaint little village, I'm pretty sure this town would probably survive, I think. But I think eventually it would probably be just like Seaside Heights, the boardwalk, and there'd be just nothing here. And I think eventually it would lose what I think the main attraction really is.
In Chicago, he tried to go through a brick wall. In Pittsburgh, he got a game-winning greeting. He's Tony Pena of the Pirates. He and his teammates come to our town to try our team. PRISM will be there for the Phillies and Pirates Tuesday at 7:30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Gray. The Phillies lost this afternoon to the Montreal Expos, and that's putting it mildly. A 9-2 blowout as the Expos got some revenge for their 3 previous losses at the Vet. For the Phils, it's now on to Chicago for a 3-game series with the Cubs. I'll have the highlights of today's game at 9:30. In golf, Ray Floyd is hot. He fired a 7-under par 63 in the first round of the PGA Championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the temperature was in the 100s. Bob Gilder is 3 back at 66. I'll have the entire leaderboard, the baseball scoreboard and highlights, an update from the Eagles training camp, including an interview with Charlie Johnson, a bird who wants to be let out of Dick Vermeil's cage. That and much more on the 9:30 edition of Prism Extra. I'm Jim Gray. Stay tuned for the movie Choo Choo and the Philly Flash. Enjoy the show. I'll see you afterwards.
The following film is rated PG and may not be suitable for young audiences.
Good.
The following film has been rated R and is not suitable for young audiences.